Hi, this is Ron Risman at CameraTown.com, and I'm here to show you a brand new product called the Jag35 Shoulder Rig. The Jag35 is a shoulder rig that uses a industry standard 15mm rod system. Right now you're seeing the aluminum rod system here. And this system allows you to custom configure the shoulder rig to your liking. Right now I've got the DSLR configuration, which means that the DSLR platform is offset from the shoulder pad itself. And the offset's important because if you plan to use a viewfinder like a Zacuto Z-Finder or an LCD VF, you want to have that right in front of your eye rather than a straight rig where you'd have to sort of put your eye to the right. Jag is making a straight rig version of this, so if you plan to use an external monitor instead of a loop, you'll be able to have the monitor right in front of you, and you'll have the camera off here to your right. So I'm going to show you some of the basics of the Jag35 shoulder rig. As you can see here on the back, I've got a pretty thick pad. It's about 1.5 to 2 inches thick, and this lets the camera rest comfortably on my shoulder. And unlike a lot of inexpensive or under $1,000 shoulder rigs, the Jag35 gives you a weight that you can put on the back of this, and they even make an offset cheese plate that you can get that puts the weight a little bit further to the right, depending on what your needs are for weight on the camera. And it gives you pretty good counterbalance. It's not fully counterbalanced right now, so I mean I can't let go of this rig and have it just wobble on my shoulder. But it takes so much weight off your front arms that you can hold the camera comfortably for minutes and minutes and minutes on end without having to worry about your arms getting tired and then your hands getting shaky. I have on here a Manfrotto 577 quick release plate, which is something I've added in. It does not come with the Jag35 shoulder system. And on top of this I have mounted the Jag35 Cage, which does come part of the shoulder rig. The cage allows you to keep your camera enclosed in a cage that allows you to add extra accessories to the top of the cage. Right now I've got a Zoom H4n on the top of the cage, but as you can see there's quite a few 1/4-20 holes on here that allow you to add additional accessories. So I could move this over to the right and I'd have room for a boom microphone or for a video light or anything else I wanted to add to it. The cage was also designed to allow you full access to the camera's battery pack. I can open up the battery compartment, I can take my battery out, and I don't have to take or disassemble any part of the camera off the cage to do that. And obviously I have full access to my memory card slot, so I can slide in and slide out memory cards very easily. And again, all this while the unit is still resting on my shoulder. And of course I have full access to all my ports. The only thing you lose access to in the cage is your hot shoe. So if you're planning to do some still photography as well, the cage is probably not ideal for you. The shoulder rig can be used without the cage, and I'll show you some configurations in just a few minutes. But I do want to show you a few other things that I found that I like about the shoulder rig. And is very similar, I guess, with any rigs that you can custom configure with a rod system. One of the things right now, I have the handles of the rod system pretty much centered on the camera. I don't usually keep it this way, so I slid it back over just so I could demonstrate this. But if I loosen these little wing nuts over here, I can slide the shoulder rig over so that my right handle is near the center of the unit, and my left handle is offset to the far left. Now this is a configuration that I like because I typically will focus manually with a lens, or if you attach a follow focus unit, you're going to have a left hand off the handle and you're going to have the left hand on the camera or on the follow focus unit. When you take that left hand off, you don't want the right hand to be so far over that it has to support all this extra left weight. So by moving the handle, the right hand handle, in this case I'm a righty, by moving it over to closer to the center of the unit, I can now hold the handle, and with my thumb I can actually rest my thumb underneath, dead center, underneath all the weight of the camera. So now when I'm shooting, if I want to take my second hand off this handle and come up here and manually focus or zoom or whatever I need to do with the camera, I can do that, and I can put my hand back on the handle without getting much wobble at all in the camera itself. And now I'm going to take off this back shoulder pad system. There are times when the shoulder rig is just a little bit too much for what you want to do. You may be more in a situation where you need to be a little bit more fluent. By taking off this shoulder rig, I've now got this configured where I have the handles, I've got the cage, and I've got my viewfinder, and I can put this up to my face here. Now I have 3 points of contact. I have 1 point on each handle, and then I've got the Zacuto Z-Finder against my face. So I now have a very stable rig that I'm supporting now with my arm. So this is not great for long periods of time, but if you're just running and gunning and you're walking around and you want to shoot something, or you're doing some documentary work, this really gives you a lot of flexibility to do that. I also have my quick release on here, as I mentioned earlier, with a Manfrotto rig. So I can actually slide my camera off the rig completely. I still got my quick release plate here, And now I can come over here to my tripod. And I can quickly slide this onto the tripod, and I still have my cage attached. I still have my audio or whatever accessories I have attached to the cage normally. And yet if I want to come back over from here, maybe I want to put it on my Steadicam, I can slide it onto the Steadicam, or I can slide it back onto the rig for a little bit more stable shooting when I'm not on a tripod or not on a Steadicam. So the Jag35 gives you a lot of flexibility to it. The shoulder rig is also designed with additional accessories in mind. So on the base you've got your 1.5 inch, 2 inch shoulder pad, but on the top you actually have additional quarter 20 threads, so you can screw in additional accessories. The weight system can be shuffled around, so depending on where you need this extra weight, you can actually take this and slide it forward. You can actually remove it if you don't want the extra 3 pounds of weight on here. And again, by using an industry standard 15mm rod system, if you decide you wanted to change something up a little bit or get additional accessories, they'll screw onto this because you're using a rod system that a lot of other companies use. Another option from Jag35 is a top carrying handle. And Jag35 sent it along. This does not come with the standard accessory package, but it's not that much more money. I think it's around $79 if I'm not mistaken. And this actually allows you to mount the handle either to the top cage, or I found you can even mount it to the back, which I'll show you in just a minute. To mount this to the cage, I basically take these fasteners here, which are using quarter 20 threads, and I screw this in here to the front. And then I take this. Now the handle can go on either forward or backwards depending on where the weight of the rig is. Without the back shoulder pad on here, I'm going to put the handle facing forward, since most of the weight is, I want this handle to be centered over where most of the weight is. And now I can actually pick this up and go, so if I want to get low angle shots, I can bring this down to the ground and get low angle shots, or I can do lifts, and I can also bring it back up to my eye, and I'm ready to shoot, so the handle really doesn't get in the way. Now with the shoulder support attached to the back of the shoulder rig, I would attach the handle facing backwards instead of facing forwards, and this helps it to carry it at the center weight of the rig, since you've got pretty much equal weight in the back as you do in the front now. So the handle is an option. It doesn't come standard with the base kit, but it's well worth getting if you like to be able to pick up and walk around with your rig without having it on your shoulder all day, or if you want to get those low angle shots. I wanted to show you one more thing before we end this video, and that is a creative way to use the cage that the Jag35 includes with the shoulder rig. One of the things I've done is I've bungeed here a photographic umbrella for the top, but the goal would be to actually bungee a regular umbrella to the top, something with a little bit wider span than the photographic umbrella that I'm using. And this would be a great way to keep yourself dry while you're shooting. So if you're doing documentary work, or you're an event videographer and you have to be outside during a wedding, it gives you the ability to actually shoot and stay dry. It looks a little bit silly, but it works. So this is the Jag35 Shoulder Rig. I'm going to have a full review on the rig in about 2 weeks, letting you know what I think about it, but I really want to get out and use it quite a bit before I actually start writing the review. I did want to give you an overview of what it looks like, and I'll be putting some photographs in this video so you can actually see some more detailed views of this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And that's it. My name is Ron Risman at cameratown.com. Thank you very much for watching.